So, our focus and our topic this month is around simplify to amplify. And we usually do like 2 panels in our monthly events a year, and really focused around topics that are really great to have an idea around, but even more important to have different perspectives to gain greater clarity for. So simplify to amplify felt was one of those topics. So first and foremost, I'm gonna get you ladies both to again just kind of introduce yourselves, and so introduce yourself, your business name, and one thing that comes up for you when you think about simplify to amplify. So Simone, you can start.
Right, I'm Simone Fortune. My business is Simone Fortier Enterprises. I focus on brain injury, ADHD, people that are neurodivergent. The thing that comes to mind, the statement is, a confused buyer doesn't buy. So keeping your message simple with focus is the best way to go. And what usually happens with people in business is they want to over-deliver, overstate, because they have so much to share with that passion. They start confusing their buyers. You give them one thing to do, and they will do it well. So in your business, pick one thing, simplify, don't confuse the person buying, and make it super easy for them to find you and buy from you.
I love that. I'm curious because I love stories. So I'd love to hear like a small story, a short story of a time where you shifted things from that complexity to simplicity and what you experienced.
So, yes, being ADHD, a director thinker, I'm an informational person. I think I've been writing blogs for 20 years with information that was really overwhelming to people. So a lot of science, a lot of research, and it looks awesome, but then if people really don't connect to the message, you lose them. So what I'm finding is that people, one, don't want to be informed. We can see that in society. Teachers are paid really nothing, but entertainers are paid a lot. So what people really want nowadays is to really be entertained in a way that's impactful. So not being super ridiculous. I see a lot of the ADHD things online, and people are like being really like a squirrel or like all this stuff, but ADHD is more impactful than that. Those are the change makers. So for me, yeah, I just over-delivered, always was making sure that I had all the science down, and people would zone out because they're not interested in that. The only thing they're interested in is how can I help them? That's a powerful, impactful message there. How can you help them? What problem can you solve for them? They don't care about anything else. They only care about that, and I think that was a huge transformation for me in my business, because I thought, one more thing, and again, how could I help them? And that message was missing until that light switch went on.
Yes. It's so true. In my business, as like a speaking coach, I often remind people that as a speaker, you're not there to educate. You're there to create clarity.
Yes.
That is your only job, is to create clarity. And that clarity is what you do, how you serve them, and what the transformation is. I mean, obviously, we get into a lot more fun in it, but I love that because it's so true.
Yes.
One of the things that I notice, especially, and I'm going to kind of shift it a little bit more to like entrepreneurs, is, and I just want to kind of get a raise of hands from all of you guys. When you became an entrepreneur, when you started your business, was it like, I have to do it all? And it was like that all or nothing kind of mentality? And you went from like that job brain to just doing the same thing, but kind of more so just throwing spaghetti at the wall and not really sure what exactly was going to happen, but you were just doing it and hoping for the best? Yeah, so we've all done that, right? And I think that's so common for entrepreneurs. So what is the one thing that you want to share one tool that would help entrepreneurs really simplify or move from that mindset of I have to do it all or I have to be busy, right? Because I think we're so conditioned in our society to think that if we're not doing all the time, then we're not worthy or we're not good enough, we're lazy, which I'm on a mission right now to change that. I feel like that's my new message. What would be the one thing that you would share to help shift that?
Yeah, so the busy disease. Filling time without really being productive, and that is really a symptom of ADHD. It's called actually perfectionism, which actually leads to procrastination. And we're looking at what's going on in the brain for that. And I've had the opportunity to work with some of the most successful men in the world, and I've had the opportunity to interview them. And for some of them, they're quite characters, but they're the mover and shakers of really the United States. And I wanted to know, one, what motivated them, and I also said, what was really the secret to your success? And each one had a different story, and one of my guys that I worked with, he said, you know what my dad taught me? He was from Lebanon, came over to the United States. All his kids went to university. They all became lawyers. But what he taught them was, at an early age, as even 8 or 9, delegation is the key to success. If you can hire somebody who makes less than what you make, you have to delegate it, no matter where you're at in your business. And so from that, a tip that I can give, because that is absolutely 100% true. I did not delegate, I did it myself, and I also created a pattern of hiring those that couldn't do it. So I would end up doing it. So that's also a belief, and that belief also needs to change. So hiring the right people, if you can't, you hire somebody that can hire them. So looking at, now I have a team of about 15 people that work for me, and each one does a different thing. And it's like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to do half the stuff anymore, which is crazy, because before I'm like, and there is a transition, and in the beginning it's painful, especially if you're a small business person. And so what you do is, great resource is Fiverr. If you haven't heard of it, use it, Fiver. Also to Upworks. And there's also a Filipino site as well. You can hire people from around the world that are exceptional, from anywhere from $3 an hour to 50 to 100, depending on the project. And I think if you don't do that, it actually slows you down. You need to simplify the process by giving it to somebody that's their expertise. So delegation for me is key. I certainly couldn't manage the workload that I have now without it. And I've hired artists from there, I've hired copywriters from there, I've hired managers from there, AI, like not AI, but virtual assistants who are real. And it's been magical, because you won't find the right person the first time, maybe. You might be lucky and you do. And what's actually happened is that I've hired them directly for my company after a while. Because when they've proven it, they want to work for me full time, and they do. So it's transitioning, so it's a really great opportunity to find people who want to be part of your team. And also too, they can do the marketing, the sales, they can do calls, they can do all the things you're uncomfortable with. You just need to train them. So secret, hire one of these people. Next thing is, as an entrepreneur, you have to do it once yourself. So the messaging in Facebook, messaging people back that follow and like you, writing letters, whatever it is, you have to do it first, so you can create a system to teach these people how to do it as if it was you. Because if you hire them, even a marketing person, and you do not have a plan, they will market themselves through your business, not their business, but through what they know. So you also have to instruct them exactly what your goal is, so you have to be clear on your vision. Also too, with any admin people, you actually have to do it at least once yourself, maybe possibly 10 times to go, oh my gosh, this is how it actually sounds like me, it works, and then you can convert people. So that's really my advice.
Ooh, I love that. To go kind of off of what you were saying, Simone, and I didn't know about this until recently, and I'll have to send it out if you guys are interested, but there's actually a grant program in Canada that pays for your support of like getting projects done.
Yes.
Which is huge.
And there's a deadline. So if
Yeah.
you want it, look at it now, because I think it's passed for this year and the next one will be coming up.
Yeah.
So
I can send it out to you
yes.
guys if you're interested, because it's such a great resource. And I think often as entrepreneurs we forget that there's all of these other programs and resources and things that we can utilize that help us be able to delegate, that we often get stuck in our heads being like, oh, well, what if I'm just starting out and I don't have the financial resources to do that? Remember that it will always pay off, because it saves you time that you can focus on things that are going to make the cash register ring.
yes.
But also, if you have resources like the grant opportunity, then it's not money out of your pocket either. And it's an opportunity for you to still get that team and get that support.
And someone local can do that job. So my office manager I've hired out of Mount Royal University. She was an athletic therapy student. She still worked for me like 10 years later. I actually supported her getting her master's in concussion. She worked with the NFL grant here at UC. That's my office manager. So she's an entrepreneur because she just had her second child in March, and she still wants to work with me because it gives her the freedom to be a stay-at-home mom. And then I've actually asked her next year to start teaching my courses, because I'm like, you're really overqualified. But again, she loves the freedom. She's here locally, and just started off helping her get grants to do more education. But yeah, it's a super opportunity.
Cool. I love that. And it is so important. Like, I think this is your calling for all of you, that if you don't delegate, it's time, right? Simplify and create more space. Time is our number one resource that we cannot get more of, right? We can get more money, we can get more education, we can get all of these other things, but we cannot get more time. Your time is your most valuable resource.
And you can't get it back.
No. That's amazing. Thank you. All right, so being intentional with time. I feel like we could talk about this topic forever. And I love watching people take notes because it is so powerful and impactful. But for time's sake, I'm going to ask you each to share just anything that comes up that you want people to walk away with today. Like, still within that realm of simplify to amplify, but what is like kind of that last final thought that you want to leave people with?
I think really the final thought is really what you do matters, and reaching the people that need what you're doing is really important. So finding out your why, yes, why helps you through the hard times, but if you know your why, you can make it through no matter what. But there are people out there that need what you do, and finding them is really, again, in the messaging, the languaging. What do they speak? What do they say? And if you resonate with that, then you get the reward, because it's just making that connection. But it is, people need what you do, and just remember that.
Thank you. And you guys both brought up something that I just want to share too, to kind of bring everything to a close. If you're not sure about something, ask, right? Like, I always find it so funny how we think we need to figure it out, right? Like, oh, well, what are the words that my ideal client is utilizing? Or what are they struggling with? Or what are they challenged by? Ask them, right? Like, they know, and you want to utilize their words, right? Yes. So what better of a way, right? Or if you want to do something a little bit different, ask. Get support. And that's where community is so powerful too, right? Again, you're not meant to do this on your own. Surround yourself with people where you can be like, hey, I'm noticing this. I don't know how to move through it. Can you support me? Right? It can be that simple. So create that space for yourself to really simplify what it is that you're moving through on a daily basis, so that you can actually show up and amplify your results.
Yes, 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 yes. I love it.
Thank you, ladies.
Cheers to that.
Yes. Give these ladies a big round of applause. I hope you guys all gained some valuable insights. That was brilliant.
It was fun.
Thank you, ladies. Like,
Thanks for having us do this.
yeah. Like, I'm excited. I want my notebook so I can like write down all those thoughts that came.
You recorded it.
You're recording it, so I'm like, send that to
I think
me.
Instagram
that
Live, thank you.
really needs to be part of the E-Women chapter as a thing that people can watch as new members. So yeah, I think tagging us both as collaborators, because I think that's a really good message for people.
Totally.
Yeah.
Love that.
Awesome.
Awesome.